everyone! So today we're going to look at Schmincke Horadam Mars Black. It's a tube of 15 mils and it is a color that has been released in 2017, so it's a new color. And let's look at the tube info. It's a series 1 paint, then it's 5 stars out of 5 for light fastness, so it's top rating. And then we have the dark square, which means that it is opaque, and on top there is a triangle which is half black, half white, which means it's semi-staining. So now let's refer to the catalog and see what it says. So it says it's an iron oxide, and there is a G, which I don't think is actually marked on the actual tubes, but it is in the catalog. So it's a G for granulating. So whenever there is a G highlighted with the paint, it means that it's going to be a very granulating paint. And then of course in the info it just says very granulating brownish black. So it's not the blackest black, it's a kind of as it is on the swatch here, you will see it's a kind of light color. And so I find it great to use in the places where I would use Payne's Grey, for example. That's another great substitute, but actually it's on a warm side and it's granulating, so that's the difference. Also in terms of the pigment, it's a PBK 11, it's a single pigment black 11. Alright, so let's do what we always do. I'll show you the previous episode, which was the Chromium Oxide green, in case you're interested to go and watch that. And we're going to do transparency, disperse, and then finally mixing it with 5 blues and 1 green. Phthalo green, and then Ultramarine finer, Cerulean blue hue, Delft blue, Indigo, and Prussian blue. So that's the order we're going to do it in. And let's start with the swatch. So first of all, I'm going to squeeze out the paint and let's look at the consistency of it, because some paints are a little bit more drier and some are quite liquid. Some start to really erupt out of the tube. This one is moving out, or moved out just a tiny little bit, as you can see without me pressing on, and it's staying quite nicely in the tube. But I can see that the binder has separated, so you can see that bit here on top, that's the Gamma Arabic. So I'll need to make sure I mix it before using. It's nothing wrong with it, you just need to make sure you incorporate it into your paint so that it works as intended, and that is all you need to do. Okay, so let's start with the swatch. So I'm going to do a gradient starting with the darkest, moving into the lightest, and let's see. So I'm going to make sure I've got enough water here. And let's start. So I'll do about halfway, and then from this point I will then start lightening it a little bit, just to see the variety of the color. So we are expecting it to be super granulating, which already it's showing its granulating values. So let's do the disperse test, and I don't know what to expect. And so let's see. It's moving quite nicely, I'd say. It's not dispersing very strongly. It has doubled in size, but it's not sort of, you know, shooting over the paper. Okay, so now I'm going to get my Schmincke palette and we'll start swatching. Alright, so now the paints are dry except for the cerulean blue hue right at the corner here, but it's only a little dark puddle here, so that doesn't really affect the look of the paint. And now I hope you can see how stunning this Mars Black looks when you mix it with other colors. And it really comes to shine when mixing, because on its own, you know, it's just sort of like a warm toned black, nothing particularly special about it. But when you actually look at the disperse, because it's so strongly granulating, it has started granulating within these little parts here as well, which hasn't happened in none of my other episodes. So yes, very beautiful. And also Mars Black seems to be quite welcoming to other colors. It really works quite well, and it lets the other color shine through, because if you try to mix any other black with any other color, the black will be dominating because it is so strong and deep and dark. However, here I didn't need to add double measures of the color. It was exactly the same as in other episodes, but you can see the color shining through very well. And then of course the reason it's called Mars Black, you start understanding when mixing it with other colors, because it literally looks like the surface of a planet. It's really, really interesting. So yeah, I love it with these blues. It is gorgeous, very beautiful kind of blue toned grays, and even this one with ultramarine fineness, it's an interesting mix. It almost looks lilac-y, kind of sort of, yeah, like a beautiful lilac-y blue kind of color. And this one is very pretty as well, gorgeous. Yeah, very happy to have this one as well, very useful color. And I actually might consider adding this paint to one of my next palettes that I will be creating, probably after the summer or something. But yeah, very, very beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.